Maclunky.
Welcome to the final Swiss match, round 7 between Filip and Krusher, brought to you by Maclunky Gaming. Joining us today with expert commentary are Tower number 9 and Chrono. Enjoy the match.
But it's going to be interesting to me, playing between the mirror here. I'm not actually sure what the ideal opening, but it's probably if you're on the play, you want Bazine. I'm going to guess. Right?
Yeah, so Bazine's reasonable. I don't know. I mean, if the Greedo Maclunky start's pretty nice if you can get that going.
Obviously, you want to be the player that ramps, right? So resupply is huge in this matchup.
Yeah, Bazine to check for resupply or super laser tech is, I think, pretty big because taking that, this is it can be very important to ramp more than your or ramp if you ramp and your opponent doesn't ramp, rather you're in a good spot.
And resupply can help.
Oh, Filip rolling a 12.
Ooh, big roll.
Krusher is not able to match that, so it will be Filip going first. Rolling a 12, good strategy there. Let's see what happens. Krusher had a pretty quick resource decision, but Filip's thinking about it a bit more.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. Okay, we're off to the races.
Yeah, let's get this match underway. Round 7, here we go.
He claims initiative.
Take initiative. So to me, taking initiative like that strongly signals that he has ramp, because otherwise, I don't really know what you're doing. I don't think he
didn't mulligan, right? I don't think
he did. And so that. I know that in some cases people have actually mulliganed for ramp as their tactic instead of mulliganing for an early play.
Yes,
and it looks like that's maybe what.
And I think that's
Filip's
absolutely fine.
Takes the resupply. Yeah, that's great. Ooh, but there's the super laser tech from Krusher.
Much worse than resupply, though. Much worse.
Yeah. So Filip's resupply means that he can deploy Boba first if he wants to here. Krusher can then attack
question here.
Boba.
We're not on traders, are we?
Oh, wait a minute here, though. Krusher uses Salacious Crumb to kill his own super laser tech and ramp himself.
I think he has to there, right? Because without open deck list, we don't know if Filip's on Traitorous or not. I don't know if you remember that play from set 1, but...
Oh, yeah, that's a huge play.
So
we discussed that. It looked like it might come up earlier in a game where Filip was playing against Palpatine, and the Palpatine player had a Traitorous, but the timing didn't line up.
Yeah, so being able to kill your own super laser deck was huge there, I think.
Fun fact to anyone who's watching. So if you use Traitors to take your opponent's super laser tech and it dies, it becomes a resource for you. And that's really weird by the standards of some games where it's not normal for you to take control of an opponent's card in zones other than the play area. But in this game, you can do that, and it is very, very strong. Now, what do we have here? Boba deployment for Filip, getting out there early.
Oh, he matches!
Does Filip have the surprise strike? Krusher just throwing Boba on the field.
Oh, no good
he doesn't, dead. But it's a no good to me dead. The Boba standoff here.
Surprise strike would have been nasty there.
Yeah, surprise strike there would be really, really strong. And this was one of the things in the very early set 1 meta that was really useful for Boba. At that time it was more common for people to be playing leaders like Luke Skywalker was quite popular for a while. And because Boba can deploy a turn before Luke, assuming neither player ramps, it was relatively easy to get Boba set up to surprise strike Luke when he comes in.
Now, Crusher's in a tough spot, right? Because let's say we have Boba's armor on Filip's side, right? We could be setting up a giant turn, right? Especially if Krusher plays a unit. Which
did Krusher pass?
He had to, right?
He passes, and then Filip plays a Boba Fett's armor.
Yep. I think
Krusher plays Boba's armor.
Yeah. Cool. If he played a unit there, he would have gotten absolutely blown out, right? By an attack, untap, OB.
Yeah, attack into the untap. Yep, absolutely.
And then it could have been into an OB, right?
That's another advantage of using Salacious Crumb to clear your own super laser attack. It means that the untap wasn't available for Filip's Boba this turn.
Both on Boba's armor, but he doesn't get to untap next turn, so no good he did was huge.
Salacious Crumb returns to the field, healing 1 of the 6 damage that Filip dealt with his buffed Boba there.
I mean, if we draw an OB here on the Filip side, we're feeling really good. Oh. Did we see any no good to me deads from Krusher's side in the games we streamed? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure that we did, but I don't remember every play. Some people do have no good to me dead either not in main deck or not in the deck at all at this point. Right. I personally, as a Sabine player, think no good to me dead is a very good card against me, but you know.
Can be. It's not that great against Darksaber though, which is the trouble, because you have to deal with her eventually.
Yeah, so it's in a sense it's great, and then in a sense it's not great, because it does answer it cleanly and cheaply, but it doesn't permanently answer it, and you gotta come up with something. Darksaber is a very good card.
Turns out.
And I have felt like the risk of playing Darksaber has been increasing, as I do think more people are playing upgrade removal now, and even sometimes main decking it. I remember a discussion earlier where people were main decking confiscates. I think I was talking to some people about that on the Bothan Network server. But even still, you know, there are a lot of situations where the opponent doesn't have an answer, and Darksaber can just take over the game.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best cards in the set. When you have a leader that deploys on the same turn, you can play it.
Now Filip swings in for another 6 damage, and now we see a Bazine Natal coming out for Krusher.
Double fire spray.
No. Krusher sees Filip's hand, and it is a killer hand.
Just gas.
2 copies of Fett's Fire Spray and a Bosk and a Maul. That is not what Krusher wants to see. Looks like he's going to take Maul. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. You can't stop the Fett's Fire Spray here. Bosk is probably the worst of those cards, so Maul at least removes one option from the board. Do you think Filip just throws down Fett's Fire Spray here?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yep, and there it is.
Yeah, Waylay. He does Waylay, that's fine.
Though. Okay, that's a clean answer.
He's winning this race by the life total by such a considerable amount.
Yeah, he just wants to step on the gas. Initiative taken by Filip. So Krusher... Okay, so Krusher should probably like swing for 1 or bounce his Fallacious Crumb and then replay it to heal 1. There's no reason not to.
He can't deal the damage, which stinks.
Yeah, so he like deals 1 damage, but it gets blocked by Boba's armor, so whatever. But then he gets to replay it and heal 1, so that's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, that hand was so good.
That's a very nasty hand.
And we're not going to see change of hearts or any of that nonsense first game, so
probably not. It would be unusual to main deck it at this phase, I think, but you know, we'll see.
It's crazy how much of a tempo swing the no good to be good was.
Yeah, huge.
It was basically a 12 damage swing.
Pretty wild. Both Bobas with the armor being very difficult to remove for the opponent.
Yeah, just go face.
Filip is just keeping the pressure on. 3rd hit to the base from that.
There's no clean answer for him now, being ahead this high in health, right?
And Krusher's got to know that there's a Fett's Fire Spray coming. The thing about this that's so awkward is Boba Fett's armor. So in this game, relative to some, attacking with multiple small units can be better because damage is permanent. So you can, like, in theory, add damage to something over time and eventually take it out. But Boba Fett's armor really changes that by blocking the first 2 damage from any source, if it's attached to Boba Fett, of course. And I do think Boba Fett's armor is one of several cards from this set that people thought was just totally insane when it was previewed, and that I think is good, but is not like at the utterly broken level that people were worried about.
Yeah, I do think they also printed a lot of answers, right? Poe, Wrecker, a lot of ways, Maul even, right? So like you have to have it on the flip turn in a lot of the situations.
Yeah, there are ways to deal with it, and I think the other one that I would put in that same category is actually the Client, where it looked like just like the craziest card, like aggro's dead, but like the timing is not what you most want.
Still a good card, but you're right.
Still a good card. Still a good card, but not insane.
I do think the lines that have been discovered later in the meta so far of the Boba's armor into the attack untap OB line is very popular from this deck. And,
That's a scary one, yeah.
Right, and I think that was slept on a little bit early.
Krusher swings into Filip's Boba, each Boba taking 4 damage thanks to Boba's armor.
There's
And
another
there's
Maul.
So does he? So what does he do here? So he could kill Salacious Crumb and deal 4 damage to base. He could kill his opponent's Boba.
I think he does the damage because Boba Fett leader is Underworld, right?
Yeah, true. So yeah. So he could do the damage. I think he could. So he could also, he could kill Boba and put 4 damage on Boba leader if he wanted to.
Which would only be 2 damage, or no, 4 damage. Yeah, 4 damage.
It'd be 6 down to 4.
Yes, because
he's actually going to kill Salacious Crumb.
That's the plan,
block the damage completely with Boba's armor. Yeah. And that'll be 4 damage going through to the base. He's going for the racing strategy.
Yeah, because then if even if your opponent bounces Maul, he just plays it and kills the Bazine with it.
Interesting point. Looks like Crusher's going to throw Bazine into Maul, maybe to preclude that option. And now, are we going to see a barrage? Maybe.
No, Lackey.
No, Syndicate Lackey's coming out to trade with Maul. That's a lot worse than a barrage, but
had to deal with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, he can't let that hit for 7. That would be really, really bad. He has, I think he's taken 20 damage and hasn't even hit his opponent's base yet. Wow, a Cloud Rider swinging into Boba for 1. Man, that feels bad. Boba's armor is a good card, it turns out.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see answers in each other's sideboards, right? So we'll see if they're running Confiscate or what they want to do.
In chat, someone suggests Boba armor is good only in green and Boba blue. I'm not sure about that. I don't think it's a joke card in Boba yellow either.
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty good because there's actually a little hidden synergy where you can actually just put it on Toro as a 2-cost 2/2 buff for untapped shenanigans.
Yeah, just give him more numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Toro is a crazy card. Like, Toro is at least arguably better than Boba Fett Disintegrator, and he's like an uncommon.
Yeah, Toro was one of the best cards in the set. I remember when he was spoiled, I went insane. I was like, man, I got to build every deck I can with this guy.
It's like, this is a 3-cost 3/5. This is like, oh man.
Just play Hotshot. No, why not both? You play both.
All right, so Crusher's base taking huge damage. Another Bazine Natal and another strong hand. What will Crusher remove? Going to be a Fett's. He removes 1 of 2 copies of Fett's Fire Spray. That's interesting. I'm not sure that's how.
Philip's got to remember to draw here.
Yeah, that's true. Now, he doesn't seem to be. I'm pretty sure drawing is mandatory, and in theory, Crusher should be reminding him.
100%. I don't think it's going to matter, to be honest with you. However,
it doesn't seem like the crucial factor, but yeah, he should be taking a draw here.
Bazine's a much better card if your opponent doesn't draw. That's for sure.
Yeah, to say the least. $26 damage on Crusher's base.
You just play the Fire Spray. If he answers it, you just win because you just claim, right?
No, because he can if he has like a waylay or whatever for the Fire Spray, he can also swing his Boba into the other Boba and trade, I think.
Right, yeah, I guess. It
isn't actually a trade. Crusher's Boba stays alive in that scenario.
Right, so that's probably the play for him. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's actually going to be a Bosk, and now we're going to see whatever potential answer card there is. It's an interesting scenario, too, because like maybe you're assuming that Crusher has some answer to the Fett's Fire Spray, so you don't go for it. But then, like,
I think you just go
maybe
for
he bluffs you. But now, like, also Filip also has lethal with the Bosk. Except now Crusher's
just harder to deal with.
Some more resources.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I see where.
Okay, but he also throws out a 7th Fleet Defender, which is very annoying. And Crusher counting his life total there, I think, which is very relevant in this scenario. How much damage has he taken there? It looks like he's taken 26. He does have a 4-LOM to trade with Bosk, but he doesn't seem to have something that will deal with that 7th Fleet Defender. So a Surprise Strike or even just a shoot first wins the game here. Does Filip have it? If
I do
Krusher can
think-
pull off a comeback, this will be quite impressive.
I think that last turn, I think I'm just playing the fire spray, and I'm at my life's so high. I think I'm just playing fire spray for the rest of the
Yeah,
game.
it's just like make him have the
Make him have it for the next 5 turns, right?
Yeah. Make him have it. I think that's where I'm at also, but
Because he has 2 in hand, right? And so it's like if
No,
he
one of them got
OBs
taken by Bazine.
Oh, he took one with the Bazine? Okay, no.
Yeah, yeah. So if there is a barrage, it's kind of unfortunate. But I don't know that he had the resources to play the barrage straight out. I think he
would have
something
claimed
with Boba first.
Yeah,
Ooh,
right.
Filip doesn't have a surprise strike or shoot first or something else that will make this attack lethal. So he swings in for 3, and that means that Krusher being able to replay that Salacious Crumb earlier kept him in the game. Because I believe he now has 29 damage on base. Another no good to me dead for Crusher's Boba. Boba with the armor might be strong, but he has been heavily suppressed this game.
It's been definitely a difference maker in this game.
And that shield token on the 7th Fleet Defender does mean that that even an overwhelming barrage doesn't counter. It looks like Crusher's scooping here.
Yeah, it's over. He can just claim. Filip can just claim.
Yeah,
And finish it off.
yeah. Maybe Filip actually did claim. I can't actually tell, but either way, that's going to be it for game 1. Filip with the win. Is it Filip or Filip?
It might be Filip. I'm not sure. Not 100% on that one.
So that and so he did claim, and then Krusher conceded at that point with no way to get rid of that 7th Fleet Defender. It's kind of funny because 7th Fleet Defender just having a shield actually is very relevant even against some things that could take out a Fet's Fire Spray. Overwhelming Barrage is good against a lot of things, but it is not very good against shielded units.
Nope. Good point. Definitely a good point. It's funny because, again, him not drawing off that Bazine almost became relevant, right? Or he did not have the surprise.
Yeah, it could have been big, but luckily
it is Filip.
Luckily not.
It's Filip, not Filip.
It is Filip. Okay, great. All right, so then so Filip shielding his cards there with the top of the deck pod, and as he makes some sideboard moves. What do you think? What do you think of this mirror? What do you think about the sideboarding there?
Confiscate, maybe in the board for the
Yeah,
players.
I'm wondering if both players are loading up on Confiscate after those Boba Fett's armors were quite relevant there.
Change of Heart might be in some of the sideboards here.
Change of Heart on Fett's Fire Spray is really spicy sometimes.
Crusher might have the No Good to Be Deads in the 60, not the main. We're not 100% on that.
If so, I think you want him.
Yeah. And also, there is a strategy to just go bigger, right? If you're playing the big Star Destroyers in your board.
Like you try to get... Are you going to try to get Relentless out or whatever?
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the game is going to go late.
It's kind of a counter tactic to control, but it can also be... the old rule of thumb for this is that you either want to be a little bit bigger and slower than your opponent, or you want to be much smaller and faster in these games. A little bit above or way under.
Yeah.
And so you might be adding some like beefier endgame cards to try and get that bit above. It seems less likely that there's some aggro configuration that you would sideboard into. At least for Boba Green.
Right.
There are some decks that do that, though. I was messing around in set 1 with a transformative sideboard Shirut deck, where it would basically become an actual aggro deck, or it would be a like hand destruction deck against the control builds, or against some of them at least.
Yeah, I mean, when you only have a 50-card deck and 10 in your sideboard, you definitely can have a lot of options to completely change your strategy.
One cool thing about this game is that the resource system means that a 50-card deck is smaller than in some games, but that deck isn't full of lands or energy cards or things that don't do anything. It's all like real cards that you may be playing in gameplay.
Yep. All gas. At least it should.
And it gives you more space also to play situational cards, because in the matchups where they're bad, they can just be resources.
Agreed. I do think sometimes though people think incorrectly
overdo
about
it.
that. They overdo it sometimes. where
Yeah,
like you
because-
also still sometimes need to top deck your answers or smooth out your curve.
Yeah. Spagcore in the chat complimenting our commentary. Thank you. Spagcore, are you Spags from Netrunner by any chance? I remember your old satellite uplink blog from back in the day, if so. All right, and then we got the players shuffling it up. Yeah, it is you. Tight. Yeah. I remember playing Netrunner back in the day, and I think we've played multiple of the same games actually. You know, Netrunner and this one's my new fave. But yeah, Netrunner was really, really good in its core mechanics. Some of the cards they printed for it were not the best things to ever be printed. But I think the core mechanics of Netrunner are like amazing, and I was sad when they lost it. You know, we'll see what happens in the future. I know there was a rumor that Wizards was going to bring it out, or the CD Projekt Red was going to make a digital version to tie in with their Cyberpunk RPG or whatever, but none of that seems to have panned out, and we are deprived of Netrunner, at least in a like big production form. Though there is, of course, the fan continuation.
All right, so it does look like we know a couple people that are in the top 8, so some of the rounds are ending around us. But I think there's going to be a lot of Boba in this top cut.
I'm not sure what's going on here. Are the players talking to a judge or something? It's odd to me that they
Haven't
are
started
not
yet.
starting round 7 more, or game 2 more quickly.
I wonder if they're talking about the Miss Bazine trigger.
Could be. And in any case, I think they'll probably be getting to the second game soon. On the other hand, it isn't the most important game. They're basically playing for seeding at this point, right?
Yep, just seeding. They're both in for sure.
Yeah. In chat, Clariosaurus, who is I believe with the event team, says they're shuffling and they're friends. Yeah. So they're probably just playing they're playing a friendly game, which is, I like having a friendly style of gameplay even in tournaments. I think it's tight.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in this situation, right? I think a lot of us have. It's nice to be in the last round with no pressure and be able to play with someone you enjoy playing with. So I'm sure they're having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ralic25, thank you for the heads up about Gamelandia. I appreciate that. That is a local store of mine that is going to be hosting some events apparently.
Yep, and there is a top 8 for this event. Yeah.
Yes, that is right. That there is a top 8.
All right, we leave with a Greedo. Going with the claim initiative again. I wonder if he has the ramp just like game 1.
Yeah, this is okay. So here, and yeah, here we go. Krusher with Greedo. Greedo versus no starting play does seem to favor Krusher, but if, as predicted, that means there's a ramp piece. Oh, that is a little risky. It is a super laser tech. There is a risk of getting waylaid or something there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think you have to make him have it in that scenario.
Yeah. Okay, so Krusher goes for a resupply and swings into base for 3. We can only assume here that Filip is going to swing his super laser tech into Greedo to get that trade and go up to 5 resources himself.
Yep. Interesting point here, though. It does put him back in action, right? Which could be relevant.
Krusher's Boba will be able to deploy first. Now, if he doesn't immediately do it, there is potentially the risk of Traitorous, which is incredibly bad for Filip if that happens. But I don't know that Crusher's running it. I think Traitorous has not been as popular recently as it was in set 1. And even in set 1, my sense was that it was perhaps more popular with some of the European players. I know Thork was pretty big on it, for instance. I don't think it was as prevalent around here, though I certainly did see it, at least some. And there we have that super laser tech, and Krusher brings out Boba. Does he have the surprise strike? Oh, no good to me dead.
There it is again. Card has
Crusher's
been MVP.
Boba was struggling to deal with no good to me dead last game, and it looks like the struggle continues here in game 2. Now, what will happen here? Boba Fett's armor getting loaded up. Filip's Boba hits the field.
Oh, yep, here we go. It's exactly the same as last game.
Yeah, wow. This is feeling real similar. Now, does either of these players have a sideboarded confiscate here to deal with this Boba Fett's armor? And Filip, thanks to having the ability to actually swing with his Boba, readies up some resources and sends in Boba Disintegrator. Normally, having Boba Disintegrator into your opponent's Boba who got hit from No Good To Me Dead would be really good, but Boba Fett's armor means that it's not really good.
No, I agree. This is disgusting.
Yeah, but I think even just having the board presence, right, where he got the untap versus Krusher who did not. I mean, that's a big deal.
Right, and I mean, you know, Boba there can just be swinging for more damage, but we do see an overwhelming barrage from Krusher, allowing him to do a total of 8 damage. But the problem is,
it's really 5 and 1.
Put some of that damage on Boba, it's blocked by the armor.
Yeah, it's interesting how. Okay, so he did it all on Boba.
All 8 damage straight to Boba Fett, but 2 of it blocked by the armor, 3 HP left plus the armor effect. He is now in position to potentially be taken out by a Syndicate lackeys, though.
I think that's a really good play, actually, because it allows him a lot of outs coming up. Although he's taking a lot of damage.
There's Pet's fire spray from Filip, and the pressure is on Krusher here. Man, Filip is quickly in the aggro role in this game, and Krusher may have done a bunch of damage to Filip's Boba, but I don't know that it's going to be enough here. We'll have to see.
That's a lot of damage to overcome when your deck has Mauls and Fire Spray. It's going to be tough.
How much damage is on Krusher's base now? Let's see. Looks like he's got...
Looks like 20?
I don't think it's... Man, is it 20 already? That feels abrupt, but it could be. Let's take a look here.
It's, 20. Is it 10, 5,
yeah, 20
3,
damage. 2? That is not where you want to be as Krusher. But let's see if Krusher can make a comeback here against Filip. Another overwhelming barrage. It wouldn't even be that good, though. It could remove like 1 unit. Because he has to spend 5 damage of that barrage to get rid of Boba through the armor. And as a result, he would only have 3 damage left. Not enough to clear the Fire Spray or Boba Disintegrator. Overwhelming Barrage is one of the biggest obstacles to multiple small units type decks. I think there are a bunch of cards that would be a lot stronger if Overwhelming Barrage were not in the environment.
Oh, for sure. I don't know if they're playing it, but Confiscates wouldn't be a bad top deck here because it would just straight out kill... no, actually, it wouldn't even kill the Boba.
Nah, yeah, he'd be alive with 1
so
HP.
He's at 6, so... Yeah, I don't know. He's in a tough spot.
If he had a Confiscate and an Overwhelming Barrage, he could potentially set that up.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the actions, right?
Doesn't have the actions. Yeah, that's true. So
Like,
I guess you have to do like what you'd have to do is barrage first, and like I don't know, try to put 1 more damage on Boba, and then you have 5 damage left over, so you kill small Boba, and then you can Yeah, I don't think it works. Now he could just swing his Boba to defeat his opponent's Boba. That would be totally valid. But it does leave the opponent with 2 units still poised to hit the base. Waylay on Fett's Fire Spray?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that even good? Can't he just replay it?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know that that's much good.
I don't think it does much of anything here.
I mean, like I'm not saying it's a terrible play. It might have been the best he could do. I just like I don't see it necessarily having the type of effect that he needs here. He's in a pretty desperate spot.
How many resources open 6?
Crusher's Boba swings and defeats Filip's Boba Disintegrator. I think you just play Fet's Fire Spray here.
Right, and then if he answers it, you claim.
Yeah, once again, we were talking about this earlier, but like, if he has it, he has it. Just make him have it. Ooh, there's a barrage.
6 and
But it doesn't do enough.
nothing.
No. It does 6 damage to Fet's Fire Spray, and then it bounces 2 damage off Boba's armor, and then Filip
There we
plunges
go.
and swings with Boba, and that's game.
Yeah.
Brutal. Man. Boba Fett's armor paying off for both players there, but Filip's no good to me dead on Boba, once again getting him a huge advantage in that window where his opponent's leader is suppressed.
Great tiebreakers. There's no way you're not making it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, 6-0.
Is it one loss?
Honestly, that game, that match right there is a strong argument for having no good to me dead in your deck. Even in the game where his opponent had the tempo advantage with the resupply over Super Laser Tech, Filip was able to get control of the situation with no good to me dead and push through for the win.
Yep. This is a fast matchup. No good to be dead was definitely the winning card.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching and supporting Maclunky Gaming. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.